everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, place of binding by AFTERBIRTH Plus. We've been very dutifully fulfilling our role here. Half of a month taken care of with no possible qualms. It's one of my favorite words. I like any... There's a few 4K 3R FRG beb. There's a few things that I just like in the English language. You know, everyone's heard the expression, you know, oh, cellar door. It's the most beautiful phrase in the English language. And I understand. It's got a certain sing-songy quality. The double L into the double O has a little, like, you know, it's got a musical quality to it. There's other things I like in language, too, though. I'm just gonna destroy this guy. I'm very sorry. Much appreciated, though. Worth, I suppose. Qualm is got the QU, which is just, it's pleasant to read, and it's pleasant to say. And then UALM, qualm. Ooh, it just flows off the tongue, you know? What's weird is if you spelled it QUOM, qualm, it looks so harsh and inelegant. QUOM? What are we? We're barbarians again? QUALM? Ooh, that's the stuff. Say no more. We probably don't want to play too much with fire here, but I think it's worth the shot. If we die here, we die, we come back. Which is why I was not too perturbed about giving it a try. But that was really just, that's as far as I'm willing to go for that risk. As long as we have the respawn, I got a little bit more confidence. I don't know, there's just some English words carry a certain amount of majesty, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it, really. I'm not a linguist, nor an etymologist, which is one of those jobs that I don't doubt it exists, but I sort of... How many etymologists are there in the world? Not entomologists, of which I have to assume there are thousands, let's say. But etymologists, somebody whose job is professionally to concern themselves with the origin of words. Dozens? Dozens globally? I mean, there's only so many words, right? Doesn't one etymologist have all the market share? I don't know. These are questions for an anthropologist, of which I have to assume there are several. What am I talking about? I forgot. I'm very pleased to see the Spirit Heart. I mean, all things considered, the ideal place to die and respawn as Lazarus is probably on the first deal with the devil. So that's what I am endeavoring to do. But it's not a perfect world. If we get HP from this boss, that makes our decision a little bit harder. And we might prefer to die, respawn, and grab that HP so the HP is not wasted. Which it would be if we took it and then died anyway after that fact. Unless we used it to finesse the deal with the devil in a way we couldn't otherwise. But now we're getting into contingencies upon contingencies. I'm a one contingency man. I'm not Big Boy from his 2010 album Sir Luscious Left Foot. I don't have a backup plan to the backup plan to back up my backup plan. And one. And two. And you know what to do. See, I think we're just going to play this one straight for now. And I'm going to protect my deal with the devil chance at the expense of that Demon Judgment's opportunity cost. So far, no complaints whatsoever. Having a good day. Thank you for asking. 6 cents, I'm willing to give him a chance. Got a good night's sleep last night. That's all. The foundation of a good day starts the night before. Had a good workout at the gym. Is a knock-on effect, you know? Sorry, I just had malware bites. Was like, hey, 3,500 threats detected. Yeah, whatever. Bother me when I'm not working. The knock-on effect is wild, man. You know, I can't believe it's taken me 30 years to realize this. I feel like it's something that everybody knows, but people don't put into practice. Myself included. Every day, at least. You know, what's the recipe for a good day? Starts with a good night's sleep. You wake up refreshed. Whatever activity you choose to do in the morning is probably going to be a little bit better as a result of that. Now I leave the gym with some confidence because I had a good workout. Why did I have a good workout? Well, because I had such a good night's sleep last night. That's a contributing factor for sure. Now I come into my Isaac episode. I got a good, healthy amount of self-esteem, and it's all flowing from that. There's a pattern that's working out for us here. And it's worked out 15 times. We're becoming increasingly efficient at it as time goes on. No Creative Cloud. I don't want to update you. Thank you for asking. Yesterday was a banner day. It was a Tuesday. We brought back Team Unity Plays Minecraft. I was very excited to do so. To play a game that's not a Battle Royale. Hey, I've said my piece on Battle Royales. I like them a lot. But to play a game that's not a Battle Royale, and as a result, you know, has all of us questing together for, you know, a combined and shared adventure. Get him! Get him! Okay, you got me. Fair enough. I think it's a better setup. For now, at least. I like a little bit of variety with both, but be lying if I didn't say, like, PUBG had gotten me down a little bit. It's a couple of things. One is, like, I could play PUBG, you know, pretty mindlessly forever, but losing every game because you're bad does suck. Especially, I think I've gotten a lower tolerance for it, believe it or not, because I've gotten a lot better at Tetris. Like, in Tetris, here's a good example. I played last night for, like, an hour. I came, like, 5th, 1st, 10th, 1st, 2nd. That was my hour. It was like, once you get used to that sweet sensation of always being in the mix, you know, getting into a fight in PUBG and just getting absolutely eviscerated in 10 seconds because you're garbage. Probably more like 2 seconds because you're garbage. It doesn't have the same appeal that it once had, you know? I have more self-esteem now in those games, and as a result, whoa! Let's go, boys. I'm less willing to yeet myself into the stratosphere, but it's also just good to get back to Minecraft, you know? Banter, adventure, building, it's got something for everybody. Not feeling up for combat? Hey, why don't you build yourself a ballroom? Not feeling up for... Did we get... No, that's a 1 luck upgrade. Sorry, I thought we were the keeper and had -2 luck and brought it to 0, but I am mistaken. What is this floor, by the way? It's like exclusively non-standard room size. Only the origin point was standard. Very strange, very bizarre indeed. But yeah, anyway, suffice to say, it's good to be back. Outer Worlds has been great. Recording some Super Animal Royale duos with Bear has been great. Been working on house stuff, slowly getting that together. I'm so... for anybody that is not aware, if you don't watch any of my videos with the camera on, I am in an office that is essentially right now a converted closet. It's... I mean, if I had to approximate, I've done this a few times. The dimensions probably change every time I give this estimation, but at the same time, keep in mind, I get, you know, bigger, you know? I'm down there doing the 1-plate overhead press. And, you know, I just, you know, I'm adding micrometers to my wingspan every single time I'm down in the gym. So the room is getting smaller for me. But, I would say it's maybe 6 feet by 4 feet. So it's like a 24 square foot room. And if you don't, you might not understand the size of that room. I'm trying to think of a healthier way to approximate it, especially like in metric. If you put a toilet in this room, your legs, when you sat down on the toilet, your knees would not touch the opposite door, but you would feel constricted. Maybe, is that a metaphor that makes any sense, a comparison? My new office is like... It's probably like 8 feet by 10 feet. I know what you're thinking, you know, maybe you're like, oh, you know, 6x4 versus 8x10. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal. I mean, it's not like it's 100x200. But you're going from 24 square feet to like 80 square feet. These are, again, just guesses, but, well, approximations, not guesses. There's a difference, sweetheart. And so you're dealing with, like, more than triple the space. You know, it's like the cube-square law. You know, you're not familiar with the cube-square law? It's what I use to justify my pathetic deadlift. When somebody that's 72 kilograms can... Or is it 72... No, what am I talking? 72 kilograms. Someone that's like 90 pounds can lift more than me. I'm like, well, obviously they've never heard of the cube-square law. It's actually easier to lift heavier things proportional to your body weight, given the size of yourself when you're smaller. True, but misapplied. Anyway, where was I going with this? I'm just leaving a little breadcrumb trail of Wikipedia. You can go Wikipedia the cube-square law. You can find the joke within it for yourself. But what I was gonna say, because I don't want to lose my train of thought here, is I'm so excited to have the opportunity to set up an office of opportunity for the first time, and finally a trinket that is at least modestly promising. Although I suppose Blue Baby Soul kind of accomplishes the same thing. As opposed to an office where I'm like, I mean, just shove a desk in there and like I'll make do with what space we have. I'm planning out, you know, I already got a desk in there. It's a combination sit-stand. I'm trying to... There's a lot of temptation. After assembling this desk, you know, I had to test it. We're just going to try this and see how it shakes out. Let's go. Let's not go, but still, pretty good. I know the more I press the button, the faster the desk is going to break. So I've just been, every single day, it's like having a hangnail. That's a combination sit-stand desk. Every single day when I'm in the new place, I'm just trying not to hit the button for no reason. You know, when you hit the button, you're just pushing the desk up or pulling it down. But it's like having, like an itch, you know? Or like when you get a little bit of dead skin on your hand, and you're like, oh, I mean, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I'm gonna, you know, just scratch it a little bit, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you pulled off, like, you know, 4 millimeters of skin. That's a relatable thing. You might not think it is, but for those of us who, IV bag, please? Or that's what I meant, blood bag. Hey, reverse psychology. For those of us who, you know, play with our cuticles, you understand. But yeah, like, and on top of like the desk and the dresser, you can call him Alex, by the way. I call him the dresser, but that's because I have a nickname, and nicknames are for friends. Let's go back to our item room here. Let's go to our secret room here. Yo, I was hoping it was raw liver just for fun, but now that I think about it, Rune Bag is also amazing. And I still have like so much space to play around with, you know? But I don't even know. Now I finally understand why every gaming YouTuber of a certain age has a series of shelves behind them that serve as a monument to their gamer cred, you know? Now I'm like, before I was like, wow, I turn down my nose at that. I don't need to do that to prove my nerd cred. Now I'm like, oh, I get it, because you're like, what do I do with all this empty floor? Previously, if I put a shelf behind me, I wouldn't have space to get up. People would have to wheel me into the office, and I'd have to, you know, hit a bell on my desk to tell Kate to wheel me out to the bathroom. I wouldn't be able to stand up. Yo, that is a bounty right there. Ah! But, now I get it. Now I'm like, well, I gotta put all my amiibos behind me. I've got to put my 7 copies of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius behind me. So people know my stoicism is not merely for show. A lot of people on the internet pretend to be stoics because it gives you so much street cred. The number of times a kid with the supreme snapback pops up in my mentions and is like, hey, have you read, you know, the moral epistles by Seneca the Younger? And I'm like, oh, you mean, Epistolus adu Lucilium? And they go, okay, boomer. It's just out of control. It never stops. It never ceases. Dare we? I think we dare. I think we dare. Why not? We still have our respawn. Empty Vessel is beautiful. And if, I mean, I don't really care about 7 seals, but it can be helpful. Empty Vessel also makes all future deals with the devil more tantalizing. Sure, let's crack it. Wait, we have a curse? Curse of the Maze. Annoying, but only quality of life. Now we actually can, you know what items we're picking up, which is merciful. You ever notice that people, they diminish a criticism by saying it's a quality of life thing? You ever think about the fact that, like, all we have in this world is quality of life? Kind of blows your mind, right? Anyway, back to the programming at hand. I'm excited. I gotta buy, like, I don't know. I'm thinking probably like 36 1x1 acoustic foam panels just to make, because the, you know, it's got a wood floor, is really echoey, but to be able to actually plan out my space so that it's functional for me, instead of just having to deal with whatever space I've inherited, and making it functional for me is an awesome situation to find myself in. So I'm stoked. I'm radiating positivity right now, and I hope it's infectious. It's also hard not to be radiating positivity when you've won 15 Isaac runs in a row and are like almost certainly gonna get to number 16 as well.
Ace of Hearts.
Oh, I forgot the narrator was there for a moment. And I will say, you know, people, so like Isaac episodes where I lost came out recently. We got a pretty healthy backlog right now. And I got some tweets, and this doesn't happen that often nowadays because, you know, Isaac is not a video game that, at least at the present moment, is at, you know, the forefront of people's minds. Used to happen. I would know that I posted some garbage because I would get like way more tweets between the hours of like 6 a.m. and noon than I got on a regular basis. And they'd be like, in this, you know, you're making some lazy plays, blah, blah, blah. But that, it doesn't happen too often now. So when it happened regarding like an episode recently, I was like, you know what? There's probably, don't blow up in my face, please. There's probably some merit to it. So, you know, the good news is, you know, I got these tweets that were like, hey, you're making some lazy plays in Isaac, and that's, you know, you get what you deserve. You know, that's why you're ending up with these runs that have 2.5 damage on the chest. I agree and disagree, you know. One virtue, I didn't mean to play that, but actually it worked out okay. One virtue I admire in life is specificity. So I hate when people, you know, it feels toxic, whether it is or it isn't. Hold on. Yes. Yes and no. It feels toxic when people tweet you and they go, hey, I love your videos. I just want you to know you're losing Isaac runs because you're playing lazily. Like, that's a situation where, for me, you know, you should assume that the person you're giving the feedback to doesn't know what lazy play you're referring to, which is indeed the case. But I do also accept that perhaps there was an element of that. I still don't know what I did that could have changed those runs. But what I do know is that, you know, the reset to start playing as random characters instead of playing as Eden specifically, whether it was a psychological effect or a or like real material benefit or both, it's been working out quite nicely for us. I guess we'll stick with Book of Belial here. I mean, we have, if we could just get a teleport card, like an Awaz rune from Runebag is probably the most likely, I suppose. We can get some seriously positive stuff going on this floor. Yes, and let's just keep it going. Why not? Why not? I didn't think about how much money we had, so that's my mistake on that one, but anyway. But yeah, it feels good to be doing well in Isaac again. Again, this game is, you know, it's my bedrock. Tetris, I mean, is also going really well. And if this episode happens to coincide with some of the runs where I was slumping a little bit, you might be saying, no, it's not going that well. You don't know what I know. It's going pretty well. Do not fear. But Isaac is really like, this is my job. Everything else is also my job, but this is like the base level duties of my job. And my anchor for how I feel about, you know, my workday, the banter does matter. Don't get me wrong. In fact, it's the most critical of all the things, I think. But being able to also be like, yeah, and we're, you know, we performed well in Isaac, win or loss, is valuable to me. So to be, you know, we've had a couple of weeks where I've felt very, very centered with respect to that, and I'm happy to see it. It's a good time. We will not do boss rush in all likelihood here, but we will gain access, and I could be persuaded. We could, but it's a relatively low priority, and those are not that good. The only thing I could really see improving us right now is if we can get black candle specifically, because we already have the mapping we need to proceed here. Black rune is also very good. It's not what I asked for. I must have stuttered. But I'll take it. No. So this is going to be a very quick one. I will say, there's a certain, you know, you ever get that feeling, you know, an impending sense of nebulous dread? Another sentence that sounds fantastic in the English language. And almost informs its own meaning, you know? Because when you say a nebulous sense of, or an impending sense of nebulous dread, just the words coming out, you know, nebulous dread. The words have so much power. You could imagine George Lucas naming a Sith Master after them. Dude, everybody must know this story by now, you know. I spent my formative years in a time when the internet was not quite as ubiquitous as it is now, and you could still, you know, read something online and assume that not all of your friends had read it within 24 hours. So I apologize if I'm sharing something that's very common knowledge, but are you aware of the fact that in the scripts that George Lucas wrote as treatments for, I believe, the new Star Wars sequels, like Episode 7, 8, and 9, he had suggested that they name the principal villain Darth Icky? I know what some people are saying, by the way, which is, well, Darth Icky is not necessarily a bad name just because, you know, in our world it carries a certain connotation, but in the Star Wars universe, yeah, but he's not riding in the Star Wars universe. He's riding on planet Earth. You know, like if I named a Sith Master Darth Travolta, and then people were like, that's a little funky, I don't get to be like, well, Travolta is actually an old Kashyyyk word that means malevolence. You know, why invite that into your writing? You know, you're taken away from your own story. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, Darth Icky. Help me. Okay. Has this room always been this hard? That's wild, dude. You gotta have a PhD to get through that room without getting hit. Or alternatively, one of the 75,000 ways to fly. I'm looking for an empty vessel. See, work with me here. I'm looking for a hanged man card. Looking for Lord of the Pit, working hard. Okay, we gotta think of some more. Wanna fight the headless horseman. Wanna get the pony white. Get a deal with devil, learn to fly. It kinda worked. it kind of worked. It wasn't great, I'll tell you. But as far, you know, what is the maximum possible quality of a Foo Fighters parody with Binding of Isaac lyrics? You know, like, I like Weird Al Yankovic as a character and as a human being, and some of his songs and parodies as an artist as well. But, you know, the best I can muster for most of Weird Al Yankovic's music is, you know, Sensible Chuckle. And he's dealing with, he's got production teams and ambition, and, you know, he's been doing it for 40 years. We should have Yera'd these. That's a mistake. I don't know if this works, but we might as well give it a shot. You know, we're like a YouTube channel in 2012. I wish somebody would make a movie about people who were making like 7 figures making Minecraft song parodies in the year 2012. I want to know what they're up to now. And I don't mean this in a mean-spirited sense, because, you know, the bell tolls for us all eventually. But what a, you know, the last decade of their lives would make for a very interesting story. Because most of them were like, okay, you know, like 2011, I'm a high school senior. 2012, aspiring YouTuber. 2013, I made $4 million this year turning Rihanna songs into Minecraft-themed parodies. 2019, what are you doing? Some of them still YouTubing, some of them have exited. I want to know. I need to know. Because it's such a weird niche, you know? That's the life that a documentary should be made about. I want to know more. I still think, you know, that at some point, I harbor the idea, some might call it a delusion, I suppose, but I harbor the idea that there will be, like, a critically acclaimed documentary made about, like, not the idea of YouTube, Twitch, streaming, etc., but some, like, one particular YouTube channel deep dive. I don't know who it is yet, but, like, I think, you know, like, so many, there's a lot of documentaries that are like, hey guys, it's the documentary about what it means to be a streamer, and every single time it's like, you know, you don't know how hard it is. I'm waiting for the one, like the serial style tell-all. There's a Minecraft Dave, the 10-episode mini-series, making a Minecrafter. It's gonna happen. Remember this episode. For now, though, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps the radio. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!